Shalom and welcome to Edfu and to another episode in our series called Picture This from Egypt. Yes, today we're at the Temple of Edfu. It's south of Luxor. We just took a Nile cruise boat from Luxor. We're heading to Aswan, and we've made a stop at this Ptolemaic temple that dates to the 3rd century BC. Let's try to picture here at this temple the grandeur of not only these pylons and structures, but let's try to understand also what these gods and goddesses did and how they represented the culture of ancient Egypt. This Ptolemaic temple of Edfu is a wonderfully preserved temple here in southern Egypt. We're going to try to picture how not only this was built, but also understand that this temple, dedicated primarily to Horus, what these gods and goddesses represented within the Egyptian culture. This temple specifically dates to the 230s BC. We call it the Ptolemaic Period, which means the Greek period that followed Alexander the Great. It's an impressive temple with fantastic imagery, reliefs, even on this first pylon, as we'll talk about as we enter this Ptolemaic temple. Before we leave this outer courtyard, we'll take a look at Horus. That statue is in front of this inner chamber where we're heading next.
How many columns we had here? About 12 columns in here.
Just try to picture how these pillars were placed, similar to the hypostyle hallway of the Temple of Karnak. These massive pillars are a part of this inner chamber of this temple. This would have been colored. The colors are faded primarily, although we do still see some of the blue on top of this pillar in front of us. As we go deeper into this temple, unfortunately, this ceiling does not or has not preserved all the stars that would have been here representing the sky. But yet the pillars are still standing tall with the original roof of this temple intact. On this one pillar, we have an interesting relief. Here's one individual, although it must have taken many. You can see these obelisks are being raised and put into position. this point, they're not quite vertically positioned, but this is how they raised or erected these huge, massive, heavy obelisks, how they put them into place. This is an interesting relief here on this one pillar among many other reliefs here within this temple. Every pillar, every wall, can you picture it? The detail has some kind of hieroglyph or image representing a story of one kind or another. We continue deeper into this temple. And the deeper we go, the closer we get to what was referred to as the Holy of Holies. Now we can't go into this last chamber, but here it is in front of us. Every Egyptian temple was structured with outer courtyards, inner chambers, and finally a place where the altar was located. In fact, this probably looks familiar to many of us, almost Ark of the Covenant-like. But look at how impressive this inner chamber is. This room is impressive.
This is, oh my gosh. This is, wow. Oops, sorry.
Horus, the falcon god, honored here at Edfu. So as we make our way out of this temple, we can talk about all these ancient Egyptian gods and goddesses who were even honored in this Ptolemaic period here at this temple Edfu. Gods like Isis and Hathor and Anubis and Ra and Horus. All of these gods and goddesses were part of the whole culture here in even Ptolemaic Egypt. There are dozens and dozens of these gods. As I'm looking around, and again, you can see behind me these amazing reliefs, the pillars, the hieroglyphs, the images, of course, of Horus, primarily the god who is honored here. And as we just took a look at that inner sanctuary, it's an interesting structural idea of this courtyard system ending into what we would call the Holy of Holies or the sanctuary. As we know, the tabernacle was built with the same idea or concept. The tabernacle was 150 feet long and 75 feet wide, but it also had an inner chamber where the Holy of Holies was. But when we talk about Exodus, and as Moses would return from Midian, we read in Exodus 6, even prior to the 10 plagues that we read about later on after chapter 6 of Exodus, God told Moses, I am the Lord. I am the Lord. Not all of these gods and goddesses of the Egyptians. Not the Pharaoh who was godlike himself. I am the Lord. And after that statement and after that bold proclamation that, again, Moses would then share with the Pharaoh himself, the 10 plagues took place. These were 10 direct assaults against different gods and goddesses of the Egyptians, including this god named Hathor, here honored at Edfu. So as we bring this video to a close, there behind me you can see Horus, this falcon god, who is honored here at this Ptolemaic temple at Edfu. We again stop and appreciate Exodus chapter 6, where God says to Moses, say to the people, I am the Lord. And the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is still our God as well. I hope you enjoyed this video here at Edfu, this massive, massive temple here in southern Egypt. Until next time, shalom.